Good night. At least for me, we're doing things a little differently today. Namely, because today was just packed, and I didn't even get some time to work until just an hour and a half ago. And I just wanted to jump right to it. I didn't want to spend any time talking about what I already know I have to do. Just want to do it. Having said that, now that I've worked on it a bit, there's actually some things that were kind of interesting that I thought somebody out there, maybe just myself, might find interesting, which is re-explaining the problem. We're setting up the evals. In order to make sure my evals are good, I have some LLMs as judges. Those judges, how can I trust them? I'm manually reviewing their own scoring compared to how I think the outputs of the initial AI generation pipeline should be scored. And what do you know? The scores are not great, which is actually really cool. I've found already little tweaks here and there, and I'm going to continue tweaking it. And ideally, I actually want the scores to be as low as possible in an accurate sense. I want them to accurately reflect what they are, but I'd rather them even be more negative than positive if I had to lean one way or the other. But one of the interesting things that I was noticing was that the scores were fluctuating. There's this noise, and part of the noise is just from the fact that you might have an element, a judge score a little bit differently. But then I realized I was rerunning the entire evaluation on the same input data set, which is dumb because, one, I'm wasting tokens, but more specifically to actually the development here, I am changing basically the problem set, or the output of the initial problem generation pipeline, which means it's harder for me to reevaluate each time, but also the scores may vary because the initial pipeline generation may vary, which is fine. That's how it's going to be in production. But when I'm trying to just optimize on the scores, I want a stable data set that I can just reflect on, rerun. We'll see if the scores changed, how they change, if they accurately reflect what I would like to see, and then continue, so on and so forth. So I implemented that. I also updated the UI again to kind of see a little bit more in the details of what I thought would be interesting. Here's the first evaluation I ran that was just a rerun from the previous, and I'm actually curious to see how accurate it is with the same. So let me see if we can see this. I probably can't that well, but anyways, right here, there's a lot of variation because these were all different problem sets. But between this data set or this evaluation and this evaluation, these scores are a lot closer, these scores are a lot closer, these scores are a lot closer, these scores are a lot closer. So it worked. Basically, that stabilized the noise, and now I should be able to continue on this. The other thing I wanted to talk about was how fun it's actually starting to get. So I'm starting to see the little tweaks adjust the scores, and it's starting to become less of a chore and actually interesting to see how it's getting better, and I can just kind of see the usefulness ahead of time and how it's going to continue to be useful, which is awesome. And then also another thing that I took away from today was just reminded of some, I think it was Layla Hormozi. I just saw a short of her say a long time ago, but it stuck in my head. Screw the motivation. If you're not motivated to do it anyways. The motivation will come after, because you're going to be so happy with, or you're going to be the progress will beget motivation, because you're going to already have seen the work get done, right? So that was a cool little snippet that just helped me today, because it was the end of the day and I didn't know if I was going to have time to do this, but I just wanted to jump right into it. All right, so well on our way. My timelines from the last 2 days were way off. This did not get done in 2 days. Nor do I know if it's going to... The scoring, I think... I think can get done by the end of this weekend. I think, if anything, on Saturday, I'll definitely be able to close things out there, and then continue on to expanding to different, modifying the actual AI generation, prompt generation, rather than focusing on optimizing the scores. I think by Saturday the scores should be pretty well, and I can move on to the next step. So I was a little optimistic with the initial timeline, but you know what they say, when a software engineer gives you a timeline, you just multiply it by 4. And then even if you know that rule and you try to make the initial timeline that, it doesn't work. You still have to multiply it by 4. So we'll see. But good progress today. Progress is progress. And it should be easier to review tomorrow. All right, I'm going to hit the hay because I am cooked for today. I'll see you tomorrow.